Hey guys, Ryan here for Bender Wins. Hope everyone's doing well today. Today, guys, I am here to talk about the 4 things I wish somebody told me when I first started betting on sports. So those of you guys that don't know me, my name's Ryan Bender. I'm a professional sports bettor, and I've been betting on sports professionally now for 16 years. Betting on sports for a living, guys, it has its ups and downs. It can be very lucrative and very exciting, but it's also a lot of work. I think there's a misconception out there that, hey, I want to bet on sports for a living. I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna pick my games and, I'm gonna sit down and watch and make a bunch of money. Well, it's not exactly that. It literally is a full-time job. But I do want to tell you guys, whether you want to bet on sports professionally or you just want to have fun with it and everything in between, there are 4 things that I think you should know about before you continue sports betting. Now, before I get into it, guys, look, betting on sports, like I mentioned before, it can be very lucrative, okay? It's provided me with an unbelievable life that I never thought that I would have. Lots of nice cars, millions of dollars in real estate that I've been able to buy and sell. I bought 3 businesses, and it just allowed me over the years a very comfortable life. But that being said, guys, going back in the beginning, it was rocky. Even like before I became a professional, I had to learn a lot of painful lessons, okay? I had to learn a lot of painful lessons, guys. And that's some of the stuff that I want to talk about today with you guys, okay? This is my wish that when I walked up to that window to place my first bet, that I wish somebody had said, Bender, let me tell you 4 things, guys. And those are the 4 things I'm going to talk about today. And yeah, so let's get started, guys. First off, look, if you've been with me for a while and watching this channel, you hear this all the time, guys, but I talk about this basically every week, if not every day, guys. Bankroll management is everything. Bankroll management is everything in sports betting, okay? You basically need to make a promise and a commitment to yourself that you will follow strict bankroll management guidelines. The reason that sports books are so profitable is not necessarily the small juice that they take, okay? And it's not necessarily getting the public bet the wrong side. It's the fact that the public, by and large, does not have solid bankroll management skills. Most people have decent bankroll management skills when they're winning, but what about when they're losing? That is when people start chasing, and that is an absolute no-no in sports betting. So I can tell you guys definitively, for 16 years, I have never strayed once from bankroll management, guys, and it was a real game changer for me, okay? So prior to going professional, I blew up many bankrolls. And I mean, like, just the most biblical disintegration of bankrolls that you could ever imagine. And my bankroll management was absolutely terrible. And I had to learn that lesson. I could not tell you, in all honesty, I could not tell you how many times I blew up my bankroll and went to 0 and had to rebuild. I don't know. It was a lot. Way more than it should have been, to be honest. Like, I mean, that was a lesson that was a bit hard-headed. But I didn't know, right? I didn't know. And that's why, again, I think it's important that this message gets out there. So look, when you have your bankroll, guys, you want to continue to grow it and continue to add to it, but understand that sports betting is not a get-rich-quick scheme, okay? It isn't. And that, I think, is what I was chasing in the beginning. I wanted to, triple my bankroll every single month, but that is not sports betting. But the reality is, guys, that if you can get 80, 100, 200% return over the course of a year, the compound interest of your bankroll, guys, will be absolutely astounding. Now, in the beginning, it might feel like a little bit of a slow battle, but I promise you, over time, it will absolutely blow your mind, okay? So I'm going to give you a quick breakdown, guys. Bankroll management, okay? You hear all kinds of different stuff. I will tell you 100% unequivocally, guys, the proper way to bet on sports is to bet 1 to 5% of your bankroll, okay? I drive this home on my channel all the time, guys, 1 to 5%. Now I'm gonna break that down really quickly, guys, because I have done some videos on this. 1%, that's reserved for professionals. So now I bet much less than 1% of my bankroll, but 1% is what you'll be betting if you're a professional, okay? Because that is your livelihood. You have to protect your bankroll at all costs. If your bankroll goes to 0, you're out of the business and you're working a 9 to 5 or doing whatever, okay? 2 to 3%, guys, that is for your amateur or casual bettor who basically has a static bankroll for the season. Okay, so they have a bankroll, for all of MLB, or they have a bankroll maybe for their entire year. Okay, they're gonna have $1,000 that they want to bet, but they're not going to add to it. That is their sports betting budget for the entire year. You're going to be betting 2 to 3%. My preference is to see 2.5%. 3, again, a little bit on the higher side for someone who just has a static bankroll for the entire year. Now, this way, guys, you're going to be able to grow your bankroll, but at the same time, you're going to be able to preserve it, okay? Preserve it against these downturns. Now, on the flip side, guys, the last one, the 4 to 5%, these are sports bettors who, recreational sports bettors who want to obviously try and grow their bankroll, but don't mind adding to it, topping up from time to time, okay? So 4 to 5% is at the absolute high end, guys. Under no circumstance should you ever bet more than 5% of your bankroll on any given game, okay? If you start betting more than 5%, you're deviating from proper bankroll management, and it is almost a virtual certainty that you'll eventually turn your bankroll into nothing, okay? So I have done other videos on bankroll, guys. I don't want to talk too much about that, but I will say one last thing, that when people are looking at their bankroll, often a mistake that they make is they look at their bankroll and they say, okay, I want to triple my bankroll. I want to double my bankroll. It's the wrong way to look at, guys. You have to set milestones, okay? There's numerous times that you'd want to revalue your bet size, okay? Some people, and this is more along the lines of professionals, would revalue their bankroll unit size every single week. So once a week, okay, let's say you started at $10,000, okay, and you're betting 1%. That's $100 a bet. But let's say you get that to $11,000. At the end of the week, you would revalue that unit size, and now you'd be betting 110. This is where the compound interest factor comes in and how you grow your bankroll over time, but it starts to grow quicker and quicker and quicker. The second way, which is the way that I advise most amateur sports bettors to do, is to basically revalue your unit size based on milestones, okay? And this makes it not a daunting task that you're trying to double your account in a year or triple your account in a year. No, what you're trying to do is hit that next milestone, okay? So it's always there. Someone that puts $1,000 into their bankroll, okay? You're gonna be betting, as an amateur, 2 to 3%. So that's $20 to $30 a game. Your first milestone that you're gonna hit might be $1,200, 20% higher than where you started. So if you get to $1,200, now you can go 2 or 3% of $1,200, okay? So again, now your bet size is continuing to grow, right? So you're going 2% of $1,200. Now you're not betting $20 a game. Now you're betting $24 a game. And you get to that next milestone, you might set it at $1,500. Now the same is true on the downside. Everyone is always excited to bump their units up. When they hit $1,200, like, yes, I can bet 24 bucks now. But when they hit $800, the tendency is that they do not want to go down in unit size, but you have to, guys. And this is what every professional does. They decrease their bet size until they get back to that next milestone. So when you get down to $800, you start at $1,000, you down to $800, 2% of that, $16. So you're going to bet $16 a game, guys, until you get back to the $1,000 starting point. Now you start betting $20 again. I promise you guys, if you follow this and you do not deviate from bankroll management, you will be much more successful. And I really wish that somebody had said, Bender, you got to follow this. And to be honest, younger me, early or late teens, early 20s, I don't know if I would have listened, to be honest, but I'm telling you guys, I've lived it, okay? It works. It's a big difference. It's a game changer, okay? Number 2, guys, don't fall for traps, all right? Now that's easier said than done, okay? So look, there's people out there that'll try and convince you, oh, there's no such thing as a trap line, guys. That is total BS, okay? I can spot trap lines most of the time. I point them out on my channel. I say, this is a trap line. Do not bet that game. And more times than not, it is true, right? So there are trap lines in sports, guys. Look, trap lines, guys, there's a number of different ways to find it. But the general rule of thumb for amateur sports bettors, guys, is just a basic common sense that if it looks too good to be true, it probably is, okay? If it looks too good to be true, it probably is, guys. And that old adage can save you a lot of money when it comes to sports betting. What's another way that you can find a trap line? Well, let's say you really like one side and you think, wow, there is a ton of value on this, guys. You might want to use a software like Sports Insight or something like that to be able to see if there is steam on the other side. Now, what is steam? Okay, I get asked this a lot, guys. Steam basically means that when large bets come in from sharp bettors or professional bettors on one side, that's ultimately what moves the line, but it's called a steam bet, okay? So when a big bet comes in on one side of the game, it'll say that, they'll say basically there is steam on that side of the game. Now, let's say you liked Team A, but you look and Team B has 3 different steam bets on it. That is a major indicator that that is a trap line, and it is there to deceive the public, because the public is going to bet. The perception is that this side has a lot of value, when in reality, the sharps know that this side is value. It could be an injury you don't know about, the public doesn't know about. It could be a number of different factors that the sharps decide to bet on that side, guys. But I've seen many times where, I'll cap a game and I know like that the line is completely wrong. But I know why Vegas set it there. And I'll go and I'll look at the money distribution for that game and I see the public is all over it. And I think, you know what? That was me. That was me before, way back in the day. I wish someone told me about it, but that was me. I would have jumped all over that side. And now I look at it and it's like, I know better and I'm going on the other side of that game. And again, more times than not, those games come in with the sharps, okay? All right, next, guys, another trap that I wish someone told me in the beginning. Fewer is better. Okay, fewer is better when you first start out betting. Now, eventually, guys, when you get good at identifying thin value, you can expand and you can start betting more games. But the problem that most amateur sports bettors make is they start off betting way too many games, okay? In the beginning, guys, there is no way that you will make a profit betting 8 to 9 games. It just isn't, okay? If you're betting even 7, 8, 9, 10 plus games a day, you can't do it until you can confidently say that you can find value in those games over the course of many years. And it does take practice, guys. Take practice to find thin value. On any one given day, there's probably anywhere from, 1 to 5, 1 to 6 games that have good amounts of value on them for whatever reason. Either the public has been heavy on that side or the trap lines or all kinds of different reasons, right? But outside of that, guys, there's other games that do have value, okay? It's thinner value, but there's definitely value there. And those games you want to take advantage of and you want to be able to make money, but not in the beginning, okay? In the beginning, guys, what you should really focus on, 2 to 4 games per day or 1 game even, okay? Like, do not feel pressured like on a day where you just don't find value that you don't bet. This year, guys, if you're a member of the channel, you will know that I did not have a bet on the Super Bowl for either the side or the total because there wasn't value there. And it's so important, guys, that you find value in those games. So in the beginning, do not over bet, okay? Start off, guys, find, 2 or 3 games. And I'm going to tell you guys a little trick that'll help you. I've told this on some of my videos before. Some people have used this and they get back to me and say, Bender, what a game changer that was. So it's up to you guys, you want to use it, but it's a cool little trick when you first get started. Now, if you've been betting for many years and you have a good ROI, like, you're getting 3-5%, well, 3 or 4%, if you get 5% right on or above. Yeah, I mean, if you're just starting off, guys, this is a great trick that you can use, okay? So take a look and get your best 5 or 6 games. Okay, look at your absolute best 5 or 6 games and then rank them 1 through 6. Number 1 being your absolute best play of the day, and number 6 being, the last play you would bet. If you had to get rid of one, which one would you get rid of? Number 6. Okay, so now that you've done that, guys, and this is going to sound crazy, cross out number 1 and cross out number 6. Now you say, why am I crossing out number 1? Well, when you first get into sports betting, guys, or you've only been doing it for a couple years, we just talked about trap lines, okay? I'm willing to bet, guys, that if you put your number 1 pick up against your number 2 pick head to head for 90 days, I bet you your number 2 pick would come in at a better winning percentage, okay? And often what you're going to find, guys, often cases, that number one play, not only will number two have a better winning percentage, but number one will actually be negative ROI, because Vegas is very good at what they do, guys. Maybe in the future, I will do a video how line makers set the odds and stuff, which I think would be a great video to talk about. But for today, guys, suffice it to say, Vegas line makers know what they're doing and they know how to manipulate the public. So unless you really know what you're doing, guys, cross out number one, okay? Now, I don't just want you to cross it out and forget about it. I want you to cross it out, but I still want you to track it, okay? If you can track your number one play for, I would prefer, 6 months to a year, but even 90 days, and you're showing profit on there, then that's good. You're avoiding trap lines, guys, and you can start to bring that in. You can start to bet on that, okay? Same thing with pick number 6, okay? Track it. Don't bet it, but track it, okay? At the end of 6 months, do you have a positive ROI on play number 6, okay? So ultimately what you're doing, guys, you're taking your second best, and you don't even have to bet 5 if you don't want. You can bet 2, 3, and 4, okay? Get rid of your 2 worst. Bet 2, 3, and 4. So cross out number 1, and you have to be honest with yourself, okay? You have to be honest. You have to say, this is the absolute best game I have, and then cross it out. Because I know, psychologically, guys, you say, I want to bet that, so I'll make this my number 2 bet. If you try this honestly, guys, I'm telling you, you're going to do well with this. You're going to reduce the amount of bets you make, and you're going to put more money in your pocket, okay? Now, the next one, guys, number 4, it has to do a little bit with what I just talked about, this little trick here, guys. And this is don't fall for FOMO, okay? Do not fall for FOMO. What is FOMO, guys? FOMO is fear of missing out, okay? I'm sure you guys have heard that. It stands for fear of missing out. And fear of missing out, guys, is a very expensive problem in sports betting, okay? So what am I talking about? Basically, guys, how many times have you looked at a game and you've looked at it and looked at it and looked at it and ultimately decided that, you know what, I think there's maybe a little bit of value here, but you have all these reasons not to bet it. But then in the back of your head, you're like, yeah, but you know what? If I don't bet it and it wins, I'm going to be what? You're going to be upset, right? That, guys, is FOMO. It's that fear of missing out on a winning game. But, okay, more often than not, on those particular games, guys, you are looking at either a negative ROI bet or something that's maybe break even at the best, okay? So when you have those games and you bet them because of this FOMO, this, if it's going to win, I don't want to miss out on it, and I think there's value, you're convincing yourself there's value when there probably isn't. Those are the types of games, guys, where if they win, you feel this FOMO. You feel like, oh my God, I can't believe it happened, right? But when those games don't win, when those games lose, then you're like, oh, well, okay, I'm glad I didn't bet it, yada, yada, yada. You never really remember that. You only remember the fear of missing out that you had when you won that game, when that game won, but you didn't bet it. But the reality of the situation is, guys, those games that I told you to get rid of, those games, game 6, game 5 even, on your top 6 list, those are FOMO games, okay? Those are games that you're often betting only because you have this fear of missing out on profits, okay? Now, the other thing, let's look at a couple other things here. There's the FOMO, okay? I give out a free pick, okay? I give out free picks every single day on here, guys. But let's say I give out a free pick, okay? Now, let's say you like the other side of that game, okay? You have a lot of reasons why you like the other side of that game. Now you don't know what to do, okay? Maybe that's a position where you either, you go with your instinct, or you trust a professional, or you don't bet it, okay? That is always an option, guys. But FOMO seems to prevent us from doing that. We're too accustomed, okay? We're too accustomed to basically wanting to bet, every single day and win every single day, okay? You need to stop looking at sports betting as a day-to-day event. You have to look at sports betting as one long, ongoing enterprise, okay? So, it's no different, guys. I treat this like a business. I treat it like a company, like I would any of my other companies. And, with other companies, guys, look, I run a taxi business, okay? I have a taxi business, guys. I have 14 taxis. I'm open, every day, 7 days a week, 24/7. On Sundays. Sundays are not good days for the taxi business. I lose money most Sundays, but I offer a valuable service to the community and I keep people riding with us, okay? But those Sundays, guys, I'm going to lose money. it does not mean when I go in and I do the paperwork on Sunday, like, that I'm going to get frantic and say, oh my God, I got to try and make that up. No, absolutely not. Guys, I want to run the business in the best possible way for the long term. I do not worry about having bad days on Sundays because I know that if I continue to run my business properly, overall, it will be profitable, which it is. So it's important, guys, when we look at sports betting, we look at it as one long ongoing entity, okay? It does not matter how you do today. It doesn't matter how you do for the week. It doesn't matter how you do for the month, as long as you're practicing good bankroll management. Because I will tell you guys, I will promise you, you will have losing months in sports betting. Everybody, including Billy Walters, had losing months, guys. Everybody has losing months. Anyone who tells you they don't is a liar or doesn't know what they're talking about, okay? So ultimately, guys, they're great rules to follow, but I think it's important that, when you focus on just this last particular one, guy, you have to stop looking at things short term, look at it long term. And because of that, you will hopefully not have as much fear missing out, because what is tomorrow? Tomorrow is another day to bet another game. You can bet on North American professional sports 363 days a year, okay? So there is a lot of opportunity to bet on sports, guys, and do not worry about missing out on a play, okay? All right, so that's gonna be it for us today, guys. I hope you found today's video educational. If you guys have more ideas for topics and stuff you'd like me to go over, feel free to leave a comment down below, guys. And if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button and I will put out some more educational videos as well, guys. I do give away free picks every single day. Okay, guys, so thank you very much. And as always, guys, have a very lucky day.